Hey guys, I had to put away my AI to do this particular video. Because whenever I'm doing a Jaguar Wright video, I got to use my natural voice and not the AI. But let me tell y'all something. I caught that interview with Tasha and Sam Jr. Honey. Woo! That boy got to telling his mama off. He called her a succubus and a devil and a demon and the depths of hell. She's going to hellfire. And I said, Lord have mercy, Sam. Hold something back. Your mama ain't that bad. The child didn't hold anything back. I just took a little snippet of the interview. And let me tell you, you gotta hold on to your seats, folks, and clutch your pearls, but
this is a demon.
That is a succubus.
Okay, and this is an angel.
Yes. To put it in full visualization for everyone to articulate.
Okay.
So Tasha is conducting the interview and she wants a better explanation of what she's seeing. She sees Sam drawing. She's looking at the drawing and he's depicting his mama as a demon. And then there's an angel in the picture. So Tasha's trying to get a full breakdown of what do you mean that your mama is a devil and a demon? Explain. Well, Tasha was milking this interview for all it's worth. She knows Sam is going to give her the raw, the nitty gritty, the down and dirty. And she was in for it. She was sipping her wine. She was I count how many times she poured that wine. And then at one point she said, to hell with the pouring. And she took the bottle, where? To the head. Let's continue.
That demon looks somewhat similar to a disheveled articulation of my mother. I had once believed that she was a good person infested by a hive of demons. But in actuality, no. She had converted into a full-on demoness when she was completely filled with love and not enough discipline.
Oh, so basically spoiled.
Yes, spoiled. Hence the narcissism. It may not be medically stated, but it is effectively true. This is egotism in its fullest form, mostly.
Well, it looks like if Jaguar's son has read her down from the rooter to the tutor, honey. That boy says she's a full, I keep saying boy, but I mean that young man says she's a full demoness. She's a full demoness. When she was filled with love from her parents, no filter, no holding back, no bring out the rod, because we not going to spoil the child, give her a few whacks, straighten her up, none of that, no slap, no pinch here and there, nothing. Jaguar was not disciplined enough, this is what he's saying, and this is why she ran amok. Filled with the demoness, honeys, filled with the demons, so now she's a demoness. Now, guys, I do not believe in spanking. I don't believe in hitting children. I do not. This is for all of you who are quick with the hands. You can discipline a child in other ways. You don't have to hit them. You can take away privileges. Let's continue.
Articulated from one being.
Okay.
She has been stranded in an abyss that she has cast herself into for all this time. And in my digital formulation, that abyss is much more articulated, and she is floating in front of very olden teeth. The teeth of the spiritual beast Leviathan, the primordial aquatic beast God had sent down from heaven. And for those of you of the religious sects who know this, you know what that means when my mother is in front of those jaws. But for those who don't, it is long speculated that in the spiritual world, that Leviathan's maw serves entrance to hell itself. My mother is basically floating right in front of it, but she's not swimming away. Why? Because there is a mirror of tenebris, a fell reflection that is portraying to her her ideal, the angel that she once was, all grown up, singing the hymns of God like she were an angel, thus keeping her trapped down there. Her vocal cords stripped away and given to an irreprobate mind.
Honey, let me tell you something. When this child starts to speak, I gotta pull out my dictionary, okay? That's all I gotta say. I'm pulling out my dictionary because he's using some words that you've never even heard of, okay? Let's continue.
That is whom Jaguar Wright is, while the mirror is what she thinks she is, and what, at least, I can articulate is a imperfect articulation of Jacqueline Suzette Wright grown up.
You just taught me something today. So if you spoil a kid and never discipline the kid,
this is what becomes of them.
Oh, stop it, Tasha. You know that. You know if you don't discipline a child, they become spoiled rotten. You know that. So stop. Now, folks, I don't believe in hitting children, okay? So discipline can take different forms. Like you can tell the child no TV tonight. Tell the child, okay, you cannot have your favorite cereal for a week. But it does not have to be hitting, okay? Just wanted to clear the air on that because I know some of you're quick with the hands. Let's continue.
Love, as beautiful as it is a very meticulous, double-edged dance. It is a rose, a beautiful flower that is protected by thorns. And too much of something can turn into a bad thing.
Amen.
And depending on what it is, it can either be something very light that can be cured, or an insidious, vile, serpentine poison that can corrupt the person for as long as they're alive.
Now this is a little sidebar, folks. He was talking and he was busy looking at the camera and looking at Tasha. And Tasha was busy pouring her wine. Throughout this whole interview, Tasha was so quiet. She hardly asked any questions because he was just belting it out. He was letting his mama have it and Tasha was not interrupting. She was, I guess, under her breath saying, go ahead, let her have it. The left, the right, yeah, the uppercut. Give it to her. So Tasha was not about to interrupt him. She was just letting him wail on his mama. Ooh, Tasha, you're wrong for that.
Life allows them if no one stops them. Too much love is what turned my mother into the demoness that her persona is now. All of the wrongdoings that she has done, the abuse, whipping me with an extension cord for trying to vent out her frustration for her father dying, the manipulation trying to turn me against my own family, trying to put my grandmother Tina into a troubling situation with the cops in Plymouth meeting, trying to get me down to her, the crimes she has committed, from simple misdemeanors to being on the wanted list in Grand Prairie, the horrid physical abuse and ruthless fear she inflicted upon my brother, the awful elder abuse she put Grandma Frances through, especially in that one call that I heard when my Aunt Lachelle wanted Frances to speak to Mom before she died, and referred, and in Jaguar's bitter hatred, referred to her elder sister and her mother as a bitch. That most certainly broke her heart.
Let me tell you something, guys. Sam have a lot bottled up inside of him, okay? This is all the stuff that he wants to tell his mom, but really can't to her face. So he's using social media to get his message to her. I hope you're listening, Jaguar. This is the only child you have living. You got to do right. You got to make amends. You got to apologize. You got to make it work. You got to get back to basics with your child, because he's deeply hurt and injured for all the things you have said and done in the past. Miss Jaguar Wright, before you fix the world and fix the music industry, you ought to be fixing Sam. That's who you should be fixing. But in all seriousness, guys, Sam should be in therapy. I don't know if he is in therapy, but he needs it, because there's a lot inside of him bottled up. I'm sure there's more that he can say, but he's probably holding back because he knows the world is listening. He needs to go into therapy.
That is all the insidious things that she is now. And as far as things go right now, if she is not stopped, if you are not stopped, mother, if you do not stop running away, stop swimming around in that abyss of yours, looking in that mirror, you will be swallowed by Leviathan, and you will join Lucifer.
But that has got to be very embarrassing for Jaguar, to know that your own child is saying these things about you. It's not a stranger. It wouldn't have been so bad if it was a stranger, but your own child is saying these things about you. That speaks volumes. Let's pull up another clip. I'm telling you, Tasha did not have a lot of words. Kat had her tongue that particular day, that particular interview. She could not say hardly anything. She was just like, oh my God, oh my word, oh what? She was clutching her pearls throughout the entire interview. And like I said before, she was sipping on that wine, and it got to the point where what Sam was saying was so deep and was so revealing and so out of the box that she just said, to hell with the wine glass. Let me put this bottle to my head and just chuck this down. I'm telling you. But Sam had to say about Jaguar, no child should talk like that about his mother. And I don't know if he's being influenced by adults around him, but they ought to stop. What he had to say about his mother, I don't think any child should have fixed their mouth to say, but Jaguar and Sam have a relationship that played out on social media, and he has a lot of anger towards his mother. So I guess this is his therapy, coming on social media and airing out how he feels, because she's probably not even taking his calls. I don't know. But I would say he should talk to Jaguar and let her know, face to face how he feels, but maybe he can't. Sometimes you can't tell the person when you're in front of them, but you can say it in a third party, maybe like he got on Tasha K's program, and he's venting, and this is the only way that he can let her know exactly how he feels. Sometimes it's like that for some people, At least he's letting it out, and I hope Jaguar tuned into Tasha K for this particular video. She probably saw it already. What am I saying? I hope she tunes in. I'm sure she tuned in because she looks at Tasha K religiously. Let's continue.
Jaguar Wright is a profane prostitute.
Oh my Lord.
A modern-day Kadishtu indoctrinated by the four women of the Zohar. Oh, she broke at the singing. And she was doing really well at it, too. She had the angelic voice gifted by God himself. However, the group that she was with at the time, the Roots, they saw her as a good artist. But they also saw her as the perfect scapegoat to get away with whatever they were doing at the time. Whatever that was, I cannot say. I'm not in the situation myself. But they used her as a sacrificial lamb. And that blood spilled from the lamb is basically where all of that hatred stews.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I get you. I get you now. Now, you said your mama was a prostitute. Where'd you hear that from?
Originally, the prostitute line was something that I came up with myself because in 2023,
Okay.
in I believe February,
Well, actually, that prostitute line, Jaguar herself put out a video saying that she was a prostitute.
or late January.
Okay.
This was in the time me and my mother were in contact with Miss Legina Gold at the time.
Okay.
At the south side.
The one who said that she's Aaliyah's daughter.
Okay.
Okay. She said
Yes.
she's Aaliyah or Kelly's
Yeah.
daughter.
I do not know the full details on it myself, so I will not give my word on it, but to whomever she belongs to, it does not matter.
Sam is very conscious not to say the wrong thing because he realizes that although Legina is disillusional, she's a human being who has feelings. So he's choosing his words wisely.
Another person, but she's another person, like me, and like mother, and everyone else.
True. Okay, go ahead.
She admitted to us on that one particular day, on the south side of Lamar, in Dallas, the one apartment place with all the music, with all the studios, and right down the street from Zalat Pizza. She admitted to me, from her own words, of an instance of adultery that she committed while she was still married to my father.
Oh.
Before the divorce.
Oh. And what was that?
I do not know the person whom she was with at the time,
Okay.
and she did not say the date or the year when it happened.
Okay.
But
Let me count the ways, honey. Let me count the ways. Jaguar has admitted to so many people she's been with. I guess Sam does not look at all of the videos. All right? And even her ex-husband, what's his name? Sam Odom, has chronicled all the affairs that Jaguar has gone through while he was married to her. So, I'm telling you folks, for all you people out there who like to tell your kids everything, oh, my children are like my best friend. I can tell them everything. Don't you dare. It's going to come back to bite you in the butt. You see what's going on right now with Sam and Jaguar? She told him that she had an affair on his father. And he is despising her right now for it. Because what did he call her? A prostitute. Let's continue.
she told me that she did it. Whether that was a boast or whatnot, I cannot say for certain, but I'm willing to bet that she has. And apparently, from what I've seen, having been dug up as of more recently, apparently she has prostituted herself multiple times in the past. I cannot confirm since I haven't heard the full details, but I have heard the word across the street. And I have even heard of an instance where my mother was live one time when she exposed her naked breast online for the internet to see. And that there was even an instance where my mother was naked underneath the moonlight, like she were from Twilight.
How does he know? Was he peeking through the window? How does he know she was laying in the moonlight, like if it was twilight, like them vampires lay out in the moonlight? How does he know all this detail? Did she tell him, or was he peeking? That's what I want to know. Were you peeking, Sam? Or you peeking, Tom? Sam?
I cannot say for certain, but I'm willing to bet that she has. And apparently, from what I've seen, having been dug up as of more recently, apparently she has prostituted herself multiple times in the past. I cannot confirm since I haven't heard the full details, but I have heard the word across the street. And
Now, Sam keeps saying he heard it through the grapevine for several things he has said. That means somebody's been talking loose lips, have been talking in front of him. Now, you adults who got the tea on Jaguar, you shouldn't be talking in front of her child because you know that's going to skew how he thinks about her. Let him find out for himself on the internet, but don't be standing in front of this young man and telling Jaguar's business, all the scintillating details that you all should keep to yourself. That's wrong. That's really wrong. So apparently Jaguar is not the only one who despises her family enough to tell their tea. Apparently the family and friends that Jaguar have despises her so much that they spilled her tea in front of her kid, in front of her child. Now you guys are wrong for that, if that's how it went down.
I have even heard of an instance where my mother was live one time when she exposed her naked breast online for the internet to see. And that there was even an instance where my mother was naked underneath the moonlight, like she were from Twilight, a werewolf.
Uh-oh.
Could you imagine how disgusted I must have been inside at the time?
I can't imagine you are to see your mama naked. See, people got to understand these kids are affected. And that I could tell that affected you. You saying that with so much passion.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Mm.
And so I basically committed. Basically, from there, the belief was basically true. She was effectively a succubus.
Uh-oh.
What is that?
A succubus.
Tasha, get out your dictionary. Stop asking. Do like me. I got my dictionary, honey. Because this young man, when he opens his mouth, all you keep saying is, what was that? What does that mean? Nah. Tasha, go get your dictionary. I'm tired of you asking for him to stop and interrupting him and asking him, what's that? What does that mean? Rewind and come again. Nah, go get your dictionary.
A night demon whose only methods of survival is by draining the sexual energies of man, basically carnal desires. And they do not care whom it is with, for they can switch across their body to be whomever it is.
Well, we know Jaguar had quite a few female lovers and quite a few male lovers. But I don't know if I'm going to call her a succubus at this point. But let's continue.
Man, woman, anyone else in between, does not matter. My mother lives off of a similar energy, but not solely of the sexual desire.
What energy is that?
Well, it's hard to fully decipher because it's a coalescence of many. However, to say that this energy is nonetheless a demonic one and is a cyst is basically self-evident. She has leached money off of many people. Those who had, forgive me for saying this, foolishly given it to her in spite of all of her wrongdoings. Cyst is basically self-evident. She has leached money off of many people. Those who had, forgive me for saying this, foolishly given it to her in spite of all of her wrongdoings, as well as taking the money from her own mother before she passed. Now, she's told me on many occasions that the money that she made was from Philadelphia, but that's not true. She was getting that from Grandma. Her retirement fund, the pension that she was getting, because her husband, my grandfather, knew nothing at this. So that much is most certainly a fact. And I am capable of painting together varied narratives of sort.
I was going to say, your mother, like, you guys have the same storytelling elements. I'm just, I love it.
The key difference is, yes.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Deuce, I'm sorry.
Well, Tasha broke down in laughter because she could not hold back the way he was painting this picture about his mother being this demoness, that and his words were so describable that Tasha had to laugh. But he does have a way with words like his mother. They are one and the same in that particular genre. They are very, very good storytellers. They should be doing voiceovers, really. Both of them. Let's continue.
All right.
Now, those things I have kept separate with Jaguar Wright.
Okay.
As in her actions and her persona.
Okay.
As they say, hate the sin, not the sinner.
Mm-hmm.
And over these years, over this year and a half, I realized all the wrongs that my mother has struck upon me and has tried to do with me.
Okay. Like what?
To an all-encompassing degree, she's attempted to use me as a pawn, a weapon and shield against those whom she hates, including her own family, for her own purposes, to manifest her ideal reality into real life.
So what I have to say concerning Sam is that he's a very impressionable young man and should be left alone. Right now he wants to concentrate on schoolwork, his college, while continuing his education in college, and that's where his focus should be. Now Tasha said she was going to have him on again, but to discuss like school, etc. But why not just leave him alone altogether? Because he's got to concentrate on his schoolwork. I think he said he will be starting the next semester. So his focus really should be on that. All this interviewing that he's doing on the internet with various bloggers, it's got to stop. Leave this young man be. Let him concentrate on his schoolwork because he flunked out the last time. Let it not be on your hands if he should flunk out again. Let him put his energies and efforts into studying. This appeal is for all you bloggers out there doing interviews with him. I'm not calling any names, but you know who you are. So this part he's talking about the eviction notice. He's been through one with his father. He's been through 4 with his mother. So when this happened at Legacy, the 4th one with his mom, he was nervous.
Eviction, if you count the one with my father.
Okay.
So, on the night before that eviction, I saw the eviction notice. Basically, the pink slip in a yellow sheet saying, you need to move all of your things out now or we will forcefully remove it from the apartment.
Okay.
So this part, Sam is talking about the eviction, the notice that he saw, and how calm Jaguar was, and how she actually milked that eviction for her own benefit to get as much views off of it, and disregarded the fact that her son and her mom was out in the heat. It's very unconscionable, but Sam is now realizing what went on when I guess somebody must have told him, or he's examining the situation as it unfolded that day, and this is the conclusion he has drawn, that his mother orchestrated the whole thing to get clicks and views, having him and his grandma search for a pocketbook that she hid. And when she milked as many views and subscribers as she could, that's when she put or placed the pocketbook in a place that he could find it. Because he said when he found the pocketbook, he had already searched that particular location and it wasn't there. So she must have put it there. Let's continue. It's a mess, y'all, but please leave Sam alone. This child got to study.
So, on the night before that eviction, I saw the eviction notice. Basically, the pink slip in a yellow sheet saying, you need to move all of your things out now or we will forcefully remove it from the apartment.
Okay.
On my old phone, which I have in my room, unfortunately. unfortunately is broken. I had to get repaired in order to show the message. I sent her the picture of it saying, what are we going to do about this? But she said to me that it was perfectly fine. There's nothing to fret over. It, just relax in your room.
Okay.
Basically treating it as if it were normal. And even back then, when I was, very quiet about kind of dissenting towards my mother's word, I felt alarm bells ringing in the back of my head. That paranoia was striking again, but it felt less vivid than it did in the previous times, like it was becoming normalized. Okay. Even though I believe everyone can agree that for evictions is something no one should go through. One at most.
Okay. I agree.
So, that eviction happened, and all of the things were moved outside in boxes and trash bags and whatnot.
Strangely enough, Jaguar said that eviction was free moving. How is it free moving when your stuff is still on the curb? They didn't move you to your new apartment. They put your stuff on the curb. So you still had to get a van or some kind of truck to move you. And if she had moved before that happened, it would have saved her the disgrace and saved Sam and his grandmother the disgrace.
And my mom had to get her ID in order to get the Penske truck in order to move things out.
Okay.
And me at the time, even back then, it was in the back of my head, but I can definitely tell you now, antics have been going on at the legacy of Cedar Hill at the time. I even remember the instance in which some young kids were beating up an elderly man out on the outside. And I knew at that time that with how controversial or at worst infamous my mother had been in that area, if we were left out there in the middle of the night, we were basically free shots for them to vent out their frustrations, vent out their anger, mess with us, toy with us, get popular on social media. I couldn't allow that. Not to myself, not to my mother, not to my grandmother, and not to Gerald.
Okay.
So Gerald was gone at the time, but if he were with us, also for him too.
Okay.
I was gonna do what it takes to get us that truck before sundown.
Okay.
So I searched around in each of those bags, constantly looking for it, and I swear to you, my hunger and dehydration at the time, since I didn't have much to eat after breakfast, and since we were evicted in the noon,
okay,
it made me feel like I was searching every single bag, but I couldn't find it anywhere, and I felt like I was losing it until my mother finally caved and got me some lunch over at Fuel City.
This is reliving trauma. 5 times evicted between Jaguar and his father. This is why I say to the bloggers, leave Sam Jr. alone. Because every time they interview him and he have to recount these stories, it's reopening up that wound that he is hoping he can seal, put a band-aid on it and move on with his life. But each time they keep interviewing him about what happened, his past experience with his mom, all the trauma that he went through, he's not healing. He needs to go into counseling and he needs to get on with his life and finish up school and be left alone. And by the same token, Jaguar needs to not drag him into her mess, because she has made it her mission to talk so bad about his father whenever she talks to Sam, that he is torn between his mom and his dad. And I guess she is trying to tell him to pick a side. But Sam seems to be very sensitive, very in touch with what's going on. And it's, I think it's very traumatizing for him. He needs to really, he's working now, he really needs to spend some of that money for therapy.
Okay. And then
he said she finally caved. That means he must have been asking her for lunch and she was saying, well, wait a minute, just keep looking. Keep looking, you'll get lunch. He said she finally caved. That indicates to me that he was asking her for lunch and she was postponing it. And he said he didn't have much to eat at breakfast time, so he was about to fall out from hunger and thirst. But Jaguar didn't give a damn. She was just busy on the phone, talking to folks and carrying on at the office, just milking it for all it's worth because she wanted the clicks and views. Let's continue.
In that evening, when the sun was starting to go down, I had finally found the bag, her pocketbook, her purse, which had her ID. And I felt so relieved. Now, looking at a recent stream, well, not recent, but several weeks ago now, from someone who has kept an eye on my mother, which I'm very thankful for. Someone in her chat mentioned that my mother had actually staged the hiding of her purse just to get some fame of the situation.
Oh, what do you mean?
In other words, she purposefully hid that bag.
Hello.
Hid that bag away, even though we needed it in order to get the truck.
Hello.
And had me searching around, and it recorded me frantically searching around, and her basically talking loudly and brashly to Grandma Frances. And then once she felt like she had milked enough of the situation, she had basically placed it in a spot for me to find it, in which I did that search again and then found the purse.
So, when he looked the first time, the pocketbook was not in the spot where he found it the second time. So he deduced that it had been put there by Jaguar. Well, he deduced it with the help of a few people who pointed it out to him. This is what I mean. People are feeding him information when they should leave him alone to get on with his life.
So she recorded you on live doing all this?
Secretly behind my back, yes.
Okay.
I do not like that. But as of right now, I basically dismiss it as one of the many things that I figured out over the course of these 2 years now. Oh, well, 1 or 2 years. Yeah, basically 1.5 years now since I've been away from her, that have made me view her in a much more negative light. And
like how?
Okay. I specified this in a kind of...
Oh, Tasha, you're gonna milk this for all it's worth. The man said he views his mother in a negative light. Now, does he have to go into the nitty-gritty, the detail? Come on now, you could have let this one slide. All these bloggers wants clicks and views and disturbing this young man's peace. Y'all gotta remember, he got school, okay? He gotta put his mind on school, not no freaking blogging and what's going on with his mother, okay? His mother lived her life. Now y'all gotta let him live his life. Leave him alone. Every minute they want an interview from young Sam. When the clicks and the views are down. It don't make no kind of sense. Y'all got children. Think about your kids. He can be your son. Leave him alone.
Version. I've separated my mother into 2 people.
Okay.
One Suzette Wright, her legal name, and Jaguar Wright, her stage name.
Okay.
I love Jacqueline Suzette Wright. She is my mother, and I love her with every bit of my being, in spite of the things that she's done. However, Jaguar Wright is the kind of person I abhor.
Okay.
To give you the Cliff Notes version on how I view Jaguar Wright, she is 5 things to me.
Okay.
She is an over-possessive siren who lures any people who try to be kind to her into her den and protects the things that she owns, whether it be her gained wealth or, even at worst, her own sons, whether they be dead or alive, like a dragon protects a hoard of gold. That's 1.
Okay.
2. Jaguar Wright is a vindictive thief. Hates those who have slighted her or have done any wrong to her in her eyes. Stirs the pot of bad blood for well over a decade and pettily steals things from those whom she hates for her own purposes or for her own hatred.
Okay.
3, she is a dead son of narcissism who has been overfueled with the eutrophication of love.
He said she's a dead son of narcissism. Now, why did he say he, referring to Jaguar, female, as a he? He said, I guess it must have been a slip of the tongue. Maybe he meant to say she's a dead daughter of narcissism. However, he said he is a dead son of narcissism, referring to his mother.
Who has been overfueled with the eutrophication of love from her father and her mother at such a young age, well before her double digits, that it spoiled her rotten and led her to believe that she was a shining star amidst the cosmos, when in actuality she burnt out. Oh. 4, she is a hyperbolic criminal with the mask of a cultist who has spread and blown things so far out of proportion to the point where nobody can find, hopefully nobody will find the truth of the matter, and to keep her name in the circles of controversy so that all the attention will always be on her.
Clutching my pearls.
And likewise, hypocritically proclaiming to my now late half-brother to never play a game series from Rockstar known as GTA, Grand Theft Auto, when she has effectively done the same herself in real life now.
Okay, let me put a pause on that. Is that what this is all about for over 10 years now, Miss Jaguar, Wright? That all you are trying to do is seek attention, and you find all the salacious stories to talk about, because we know that you can paint a picture. You're very versed in the art of storytelling. Is that what this is all about? That you just want to be in the limelight? That a light should always be on you? So you dig up all these stories on the internet and say you were there? That you went to all these parties and all these people's mansions when there are no pictures of you ever being there? Just so you can continue to be in the limelight. And now you got all these interviews with Piers Morgan and all these other folks. So you're getting the spotlight that you so desire. Let's continue.
Gonna be laughing at this. 5th, Jaguar Wright is a profane prostitute. A modern-day Kadishtu indoctrinated by the 4 women of the Zohar to be in communication with the devil in our religious faith.
Clutch your pearls, folks. Clutch it with me. Whoa! This boy has dragged his mother. He threw her under the bus, backed up, and ran her over again. Let's continue.
And to bring harm, or at worst, even death, upon members of our family.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry, too soon.
Even Tasha can't have to laugh.
The Cliff Notes version.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to
He's quite a storyteller.
Please.
Those I'm going to
Yes, you're going to hell and back, Tasha K.
I got to tell you something. For real.
Tasha laughing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't blame her. This boy says his mother ain't nothing but a whore. Oh my Lord. Jaguar, your one and only living child. This is what he thinks of you. You got to stop these interviews and sit down with your son and try to make amends and get to the bottom of how you can get to the bottom of all this hatred that this child has for you.
You have your mother's gift of storytelling.
I am a writer. I am a very minor but somewhat self-trained music composer.
Okay.
Listen, y'all. That's the part I found so shocking. I'm going to play it again because It was shocking what he called his mother. You all can check out the full video on Tasha K's show, okay? Unwind with Tasha K. Let's play that again. Uninterrupted this time for you guys to get the full gist of what he said.
That have made me view her in a much more negative light. And
Like how?
Okay, but to put it the Cliff Notes version, I've separated my mother into two people.
Okay.
Jacqueline Suzette Wright, her legal name, and Jaguar Wright, her stage name.
Okay.
I love Jacqueline Suzette Wright. She is my mother, and I love her with every bit of my being, in spite of the things that she's done. However, Jaguar Wright is the kind of person I abhor.
Okay.
To give you the Cliff Notes version on how I view Jaguar Wright, she is 5 things to me.
Okay.
She is an over-possessive siren who lures any people who try to be kind to her into her den and protects the things that she owns, whether it be her gained wealth or, even at worst, her own sons, whether they be dead or alive, like a dragon protects a hoard of gold. That's 1.
Okay.
2. Jaguar Wright is a vindictive thief who hates those who have slighted her or have done any wrong to her in her eyes, stirs the pot of bad blood for well over a decade, and pettily steals things from those whom she hates for her own purposes or for her own hatred.
Okay.
3. She is a dead son of narcissism who has been overfueled with the eutrophication of love from her father and her mother at such a young age, well before her double digits, that it spoiled her rotten and led her to believe that she was a shining star amidst the cosmos, when in actuality she burnt out. 4. She is a hyperbolic criminal with the mask of a cultist who has spread and blown things so far out of proportion to the point where hopefully nobody will find the truth of the matter, and to keep her name in the circles of controversy so that all the attention will always be on her, and likewise hypocritically proclaiming to my now late half-brother to never play a game series from Rockstar known as GTA, Grand Theft Auto, when she has effectively done the same herself in real life now. And 5th, and people watching this are probably going to remember this one, and they're probably going to be laughing at this. 5th, Jaguar Wright is a profane prostitute. A modern-day Kadishtu indoctrinated by the 4 women of the Zohar to be in communication with the devil in our religious faith, and to bring harm, or at worst, even death, upon members of our family.
Oh, is it really? So sorry to do so.
That's the Cliff Notes version.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to...
Yes, Tasha, you're going to hell. I don't know if you guys were hearing as he is talking. He's looking at Tasha, looking at the camera, looking at Tasha, looking at the camera. Tasha got her hand over her face and she said, "Oh, Jesus, oh, Lord, oh, Jesus." That's all I'm hearing. Tasha is trying to stop the laughter that is about to come out. She's trying to hold back, but she couldn't help it, y'all. She could not help it. This style, I told you, Tasha K, pull out your dictionary. This young man have a way with words. Pull out your Encyclopedia Britannica. Pull out your Therosis. Pull out your... Oh, they don't pull those things out anymore. I guess you go on the internet to the Wikipedia then, okay? Wherever you can look up the words, look them up, because this young man ain't playing. He no joke. He pulling out them words, honey, right out of his head. I don't know. Where the heck he must have read the dictionary from cover to cover.
Please. Do some quick. I gotta tell you something. You have your mother's gift of storytelling.
Yes, he does have a gift of storytelling. He should be publishing books. Anyway, guys, I found that interview quite interesting. But that particular part, I was clutching my pearls. Some of the things I've heard before, while other things I have not. So it was eye-opening. But Jaguar, get your act together. You're losing your son to the internet. And bloggers, please leave Sam alone. Let him concentrate on getting back to school and focusing all his energies on his schoolwork. On that note, guys, I'm over and out. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.